In 90 days from today, you're going to be able to look back at the data and go, this is the gaps in your business. Okay. Adding lead lists to the CRM.
I also don't have it. So like I was using HubSpot, but I wasn't paying for it because like I didn't know how to use it. And at the time, like now I'm doing a lot of leasing. So it's like I don't really need to like have a million prospects and like it's all very specific. Like if I have one shopping center, I have like certain prospects that I'm following up with to fill a vacancy. And then I'm working with a tenant to reach out to landlords to see if they have availability. It's all over the place. But so I didn't pay
I'm
for
going to
it.
tell you right now, no matter what, I don't care if you're doing leasing for the rest of your life or if you ever choose to do sales or anything, you should always have a CRM system that you're working out of. Because think about it, if it's not in a CRM system, where is it?
It's in a million spreadsheets.
I would go nuts,
I know.
right? And you're just like, how do you
I
stay
have like
organized,
10
right?
Google Sheets.
Like imagine having your phone, instead of having it in a contact list, nice and organized,
Yeah.
right? Where it's searchable, right? Imagine having to put that all on pieces of paper. You go, I don't even know my mom's phone number. Like it's just like, what's her number again, right? So it's like to make it easy, put everything into a CRM system. And here's the cool thing: whether it's HubSpot, whether
Mhm.
it's any CRM, which by the way, you can literally just Google real estate CRMs. I use something called Follow Up Boss, but I used that for my residential days from 10 years ago.
I mean, I tried. It's just like I didn't get it.
Here's the thing. I'm going to be really direct for a second, if that's okay.
Yeah.
If you treat it seriously, like everything else in life, you're a brilliant woman. I promise you, you'll get it. It's just a matter of taking a few hours to really do a deep dive. Because, like,
Hmm.
look, I'm going to tell you honestly, there's not a single CRM that you're going to be like, oh, this is like, I get
Yeah.
it. Every single one of them is going to be a little bit more complex or a little bit nuanced
Yeah.
in some fashion, and you just get to learn it. Like, again, I had to learn how to use, just like using the spreadsheet. I didn't
Yeah.
understand what they meant originally, right? So it's just the same thing with your CRM. I would just tell you, like, look, bite a bullet, just like if you're reading a book, just like if you're going to, whatever it is that you're going to learn how to do something new, I would say take 30 minutes a day. Don't go nuts. 30 minutes a day. I'm going to watch one YouTube video. I'm going to watch one training video in the CRM, and I'm just going to learn how to do one aspect every day. I'm going to upload a little bit more information. And eventually, you just want in a month from now, not tomorrow, but like in a month from now, in a place where you're like, okay, like all my most of my leads are in the CRM. I
Hmm.
kind of have a decent grasp of how to do most of the things with it. Like you don't have to try to integrate AI and set up
No.
email campaigns and text campaign automations and stuff like that. I'm telling you, just having all the leads in there and setting up some type of task to know when to call them back will at least give you enough leverage and enough ease in your mind to just be a little bit more productive normally with like
Yeah.
doing nothing else other than just leveraging the simplicity of a CRM.
I did try importing a lead list into HubSpot, but it's
And I
like,
wouldn't do that, by the way. So let's
oh,
take hold. So what I would tell you to do is this. This is where I wanted to get to. When you have a lead list, the lead list I would never import it into your CRM. What I would do
okay.
is take all the leads you've already generated and spoke to, that goes in your CRM. Because to
Hmm.
me, it's not a lead until I speak to them, vet them, have an understanding of what we're going to do together, even if it's 5 years from today.
Yeah.
Okay. A lead is only categorized as a lead once you've spoken to them and you have some type of decent information on this person. If you just pulled a lead list from any software, that's not a lead yet. Okay. So lead lists to prospect. That's what you're talking about,
Right.
right?
It's a prospect
Yeah.
list.
It's exactly, it's a prospect list. That goes into a dialer to prospect or literally on a sheet in front of you and you're just gonna dial it on your hand, right? Like that's it. Okay. Because if you try to upload a lead list of people that you've never or a prospect list into a
Yeah.
CRM, what are they? So I would definitely just like, again, whether it's a dialer or you're hand dialing it, somehow it's like compartmentalized prospect list, lead list. Very different.
Okay. So you'll move it
Yeah,
over.
like I go in the software that let's just say Reonomy, Correction, CoStar. I take a
Yeah.
lead, I export a prospect list. I take that prospect list, I put it into a dialer. I put it into Mojo or Call Tools or any dialer that you might have to then prospect the list. From that prospect list, we generate leads, and those leads then go into the CRM system.
And then with the prospect list, are you filtering it by only individual owners?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I mean, think about it. Like if you're trying to prospect larger shopping centers, 9 times out of 10, it's not an individual owner.
It's never going to be.
That's what I'm saying. Like the very few times, of
Right.
Bob who's owned it for 40 years, right? Like maybe, right? Like
Right. But then like the number that's there is like, like the main number.
so think about it like this. When you're calling large shopping centers, when you're calling larger industrial buildings, right? You are calling most of the time some type of organization.
Right.
Okay. Now, obviously, in a perfect world, we would love for it to be a mom and pop guy who's owned it for
Mhm.
40 years. That's just
Yeah.
not the reality. So the reality is like, hey, getting better and practicing talking to gatekeepers, right? Talking to the secretary, and
Yeah.
leaving, becoming good friends with the secretary, maybe even
Right.
doing a pop by and stopping by with, pies during the holidays, whatever it is, right? Like, and then them seeing your face and going like, okay, this person isn't just some random salesperson who's trying to get in touch with my boss, where it's my job to defend.
Yeah.
So like when you become friendly, they're like, oh yeah, yeah, talk to John. He's in the back, right?
Right.
Whatever.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. And I kind of have some working relationships with not necessarily the gatekeeper, but like someone in leasing that could, I don't know, get me through.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, most leasing agents don't understand sales.
Tell me about it.
I'm saying, but I get it. What I'm saying is like it's actually a beautiful benefit for you because if you become friendly with a lot of
Yeah.
leasing agents, they might come to you. That's a good
Yeah.
thing, right? Like say, hey, you're gonna get half the deal. Just put me in
Yeah.
touch. I literally am working on a deal right now where we're talking to a leasing agent and they have the biggest pain in the ass. They're like trying to stand in between us. I'm like, just let me talk to the owner so I can get
Right.
you half your check. I want to get you paid. Leave me.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Keep in mind that anytime like you happen to get a lead or anything like that, or any questions, you're like, how would I go about doing this if this came up or whatever? Ask it
Mhm.
during the training. Take a note during during the week. You could either email me 24/7. I literally unless it's between 1 o'clock in the morning and 5, 6 o'clock and 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, that might be the only window I don't get an answer to you. So
Your wife probably loves that.
yeah, has a horse and everything else she could
Yeah,
possibly
she's
do. So
happy.
yeah, she's pretty happy. So that's, again, any questions you need in the meantime, you can always ask it. Tracking KPIs and goals.
Hmm.
Okay. Did you get access to the Millionaires Club dashboard?
Yeah.
Okay. What I would tell you to do, just like your CRM, what I tell you is like take a deep breath when you're looking at it, and I would just tell you to go to the final page on it and just start logging some data. It's like don't worry about trying to catch up, don't worry about trying to make it pretty. Just literally go to the final page, which is just 2025, all the dates on the left-hand side, and you're just going to plug in what you did today. How many calls, how many
Right.
conversations, how many leads. And I
Okay.
just want you to think about doing that before you go to bed every day. And like even if like before you just like quote close the doors to your business today, like you're done for the day kind of thing, just plug in the
Mhm.
numbers. Right? That's like how you bookend your day. Like the very last thing I'm going to do today before I sign off, spend time with the family, I'm going to plug in my numbers. Because then what's going to happen is that in 90 days from today, it may be sooner, but typically it takes somewhere between 30 and 90 days, is that you're going to be able to look back at the data and go, oh, got it. I'm averaging this every day. And I can then look at the data and say, hey, this is the gaps in your business. Because you and I can make up things all day long, but when we look at data, it's much easier to make adjustments.
Right.
So I would just tell you, plug in the numbers one day at a time. And any day you miss, I'm telling you, is going to make it more complicated to adjust, right? It's like, again, it's like a fitness competition, right? Like I need to make weight. Like I got to weigh myself every day, or I have no idea where I am in my business. It's like too many real estate agents gauge their business based on their checking account. It's like, I'm doing great. I'm doing bad. I'm doing great. I'm doing bad. It's like, you want to continue the great.
You're only as good as your last check or your last
That's right.
deal.
That's right. Understanding sales comps, I feel like every property is pretty unique. Okay. So again, mainly you're focused on retail centers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, sometimes retail is mixed use.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, let's talk about retail for a second in general.
Sure.
Okay. So when you're pulling up sales comps, a lot of what retail is price per square foot. So it's like I would not go. As simplistic of a baseline as you can think about it, saying these markets, this market, like all these different markets have different rough price per square foot on a sale price basis. And that's what I want you to be thinking about. Just like leasing is a price per square foot, so
Yeah,
is
but
sales.
there's not really one number. Like
No,
if you're going
it's a
close,
range. It's always a range.
yeah.
Okay. But it's like, okay, this is the top-ish end, right? This is the
So
highest
like,
one
can
I
you give
saw.
me an example based in New Jersey?
Sure. So, what town do you live in?
I'm in Springfield in Union County.
Okay, cool. Take Springfield. Great. The highest sale is highest sold. I'll even do this real fast on CoStar. Okay.
Retail sucks in Springfield, but yeah, go for it.
So you go Springfield, New Jersey. I'm on CoStar on my phone. Okay.
Mhm.
And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to sales comps and I'm going to go to retail and I'm going to go to sale date last 12 months. Okay. Four total, not a lot. Four.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
not much there.
Okay. And they're not even anything crazy. Actually, one of them is not bad. Okay. So first one is a 1,200 square foot storefront. Okay. Which sold for $633 a foot, which by the
Okay.
way is
Which
freaking
is
insanity.
feels high.
Yeah. very high. Okay. Which, by the way, the smaller the building, like you're going to see a lot of skewed stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. Next is this property on Morris Avenue, 3,000 square feet, sold for $500 a foot. Also sounds a little bit high. This last one looks like it's a undisclosed sales price, which is wonderful. That makes it just so easy to tell. Anyways, it sold 53,000 square foot shopping center. This property looks like, to me, I'm trying to figure out which building this is. It was a Bed Bath and Beyond.
Oh yeah.
Okay, which
When
I'm
did that
guessing
sell?
that sold in May of last year. It has an undisclosed price, so we can't even tell.
Right.
Actually, what's funny, okay, never mind. It says it here. April 24th, it actually sold. April 2024. It sold for $9.5 million, which is $179 a square foot.
And it's vacant.
And it's all vacant. Yeah. What you notice is like, okay, like obviously these are three completely different numbers, 633,
Right,
500,
exactly.
and
So it's like
179. But
kind
what
of
you're
like,
going to do here is two things, okay? Obviously, similar to residential, okay, or even leasing comps. Think about it. If they're, let's just say you're looking in, say, Springfield, okay, and you're looking for a specific, let's say, a shopping center, and you're going to go lease out the shopping center, okay? It's got a bunch of small spaces, somewhere between 1,000, 3,000 square feet. And you go in Springfield, this area, and you're like, oh, there's like no comparables. What would you do?
go to the town over.
I agree with you 100%,
Okay.
right? You just go a couple miles out, right? Like you
Yeah.
just kind of search the radius, that circle, right? Like it's just a little bit bigger, right? And
Mhm.
you go a little bit farther out. Great. Now let's just say that's one way you can do it, but what is another way you can do it? Because now you're only looking at like you want to look shopping center to shopping center, right? So it's like
Hmm.
obviously you can go larger geographic area, or you could do what?
You can look further back.
You can go a
Like,
little farther back. Exactly. And by the way, same exact thing for sales, right? So you can either go larger geographic location or farther back in history, right?
mhm.
So, and both of those are okay. And now, obviously, because I want you to realize, like, I'd rather you go farther back than try to say that this huge shopping center, as an example, can sell for $633 a square foot because a 1,200 square foot space sold for 633.
Right. Yeah.
Because like no one in their right mind is going to pay $600 a square foot for a 5,000 square or 50,000 square foot shopping center. That just insanity. That might be the highest sold shopping center in the entire state of New Jersey. Okay,
Right. Okay. Yeah.
so keep in mind that what you're going to notice for like New Jersey, most of the time, 250-ish range is the top end. Right, like somewhere in that range, like in the mid, the mid to high twos is very, very high end. Right, that might even, 300 is like
New
um,
construction?
say it again.
Would 300 be like new construction?
Yeah, yeah, all day. Anything in that range is new construction. 250 plus is
Okay.
like, unless
250
the building has got like some unbelievable tenants in it,
July.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
Like something crazy.
Going to like a mixed use for sales comps.
Yeah,
Let's say it's multi-level and they're like, oh, it's 20,000 square feet.
yeah.
But like
We both know, just like what you're gonna say. What the top square footage is? What?
it's 5,000 on the third floor, 5,000 on the second floor, and then on the ground floor, it's 10,000.
Okay, great. What do you think the value is of the second and third floor versus the first floor,
I mean, less than half.
or at least half?
Or,
Something
yeah,
like that.
half.
I'm saying somewhere in that range, right? Like it's
And then
nowhere
what if
near.
like there's a
It's
full basement
nowhere near
upstairs?
the value of the bottom floor.
Right. Of
Yeah,
course.
so explaining to people, and I say the same thing, even because like industrial, this happens a lot. Like you find somebody and they have a two-story warehouse and they say it's 50,000 square feet. I'm like, yeah, it's
Right.
25 and 25. I'm only going to value this as a 25,000 square foot warehouse because most people don't need mez. So like in mixed use, like look, in mixed use it's a little different because look, if it's retail, if it's
If it's retail
apartment,
and yeah,
yeah, like if
apartment.
it's retail and apartments, people can be really excited about that type of product.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
So that might sell at a fairly reasonable price per square foot, quote, across the board. Okay.
Mhm.
Or you might even be a blended price per unit and price per square foot down below. But if hypothetically it's retail and then office, a lot of people don't like office right now. Right.
Yeah.
So that might sell at 50 cents on the dollar of the price per square foot. Right.
Right.
So the 10,000 might sell for $200 a foot and then upstairs might be $100 a foot. And it's a
Got it.
blended number.
And then like the basement would be that same 100.
I would even say zero.
Got it.
Basement's worthless to me, right? Like, sure, I can throw some storage down there, but like unless you're
Very
specifically
user
charging
specific.
and you have a lease that is on that space, it's
Right.
not it's not money to me. If that's not part of net rentable, I'm not thinking about it, right? And they can argue net rentable all they want, but like unless the lease states they are renting just the basement for storage or something like that, I don't look at it as value.
Right. Okay.
And look, again, same exact type of concept. Don't ever feel afraid. You could text me 100 times. You can be like, "Hey, I'm looking at this property. What kind of comps are you looking at?"
Hmm.
Right? Take a screenshot of all the comps that you're looking at, and I'll tell you like yes, yes, no, no, whatever. Okay, and I'll give you a little bit of feedback anytime you need it.
Okay, amazing.
Last question here is I'm pretty good on the phone, but if I'm not confident in myself, I won't be good.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a summary of, I guess, this whole conversation.
Do you happen to have a copy of the script book? I think you
I
should.
do.
Okay, cool. I would tell you this. Just read it. Don't like there doesn't need to be, I mean, eventually I would tell you to put more emotion behind it, but just read it. You can literally just in front of you, hold like you can have it printed on your screen or you can have it printed in front of you, and I would just tell you to read it.
Hmm.
Right? Because we use this every single day across hundreds of thousands of phone calls a month. And it's literally just the same script. You don't need to be good at it, but just realize every business, they just read a script. Your
Yeah.
doctor reads a script, the judge reads a script, the cop reads the script, your teachers read a script. It doesn't matter. Follow it and let it do its thing. You don't need to be creative. Right?
Right. And then like when I'm like starting out making calls and I'm reading the script, do you think I should take it as far as like when I'm looking at your videos, cold calling, like you're really underwriting it with them? Like I would try to gather all the information I can, but then like how would I close up the conversation? Like would I try underwriting it with them and like trying to get a price out of
So
them
what I would tell
or
you to do is that your first, let's say, a couple dozen opportunities, I would just tell you to get all the information. Feel free to schedule an appointment to go tour it, right? Go meet people. That's never a bad thing. But and I would use that practice in the first couple leads to go do that.
Mhm.
But then I would also tell you just to be careful, like you might be wasting your time going on these tours. But at least it's just more of a getting a feel for things. But you'll get all this information, and then you and I can chat about the lead afterwards,
Yeah.
gather our, review it, understand where we would probably be value wise, try to get a price out of them of what they would consider. And then the ones that are reasonably priced, we can try to work a deal together. And anything that's overpriced, I'll be like, don't worry about it. They want $633 a square foot because that's why I do the starter offers, right? Like, so when you're prospecting on, like, the reason why I'll toss offers at people is because I just want to know, are we going to have some type of relationship or are we not?
Right.
Right? Like,
Right.
what are we doing here?
Right. Do you want to
Right?
sell it? Are you in reality right now or
Exactly. But most people just don't even think about that. They just go, oh, let's schedule an appointment to list the property. What if they want $600 a foot? I'm not going to do that.
right, I know.
I'm not going to go then drive a half hour, an hour, 2 hours to go talk to somebody who's out of their freaking mind.
I
You know?
actually remember that property I sent you in Elizabeth. I
I
know you go through a
vaguely.
million properties a
Yeah.
day,
Yeah.
but it was an owner user type of thing. It
The
would be
furniture
sold.
thing.
No, this is a restaurant on the
Okay.
first floor and then a couple of apartments on top. We just went under contract, but it's an owner user buying it, so like it makes sense for them.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sorry, I almost sneezed. But yeah, that's awesome. I heard it was seller financing too.
Yes.
There you go. And keep in
Yes.
mind that, like, look, there's so many of those opportunities out there.
Yeah.
Here's the coolest part too. The fact that you have these types of tenants in your back pocket,
Yeah.
this is a unbelievable opportunity for you in the sales world, right? Because now you're like,
For
oh,
sure.
these are all owner users, right? So now you can just go find them places where they might consider buying if they've got the bankroll.
Right. Especially like we do a lot of business with Dollar Tree. So like if I find a building that's 10,000 square feet, they'll take it.
That's what I'm saying.
10-year lease, 2 5-year
And
options.
guess I'm like, look, the how many buildings that I have right now that are 10,000 square feet that I could probably give you once I have details like that. Like I was
Okay.
saying, we and like again, even showing you, hey, this is how you pull a lead list. This is how
Mhm.
you call it. This is what you say. And every single 10,000 square
Right.
foot building, they buy it like clockwork. Come on, that could be
Yeah,
10 deals a year, one client,
I know. Yeah. True. True.
right? So, and I look at it, like if you want to send me like exactly their criteria, locations, and everything else so that they're specifically looking for, text it to
Yeah.
me, and I'll look
Sure.
through our lead list, and I might have 2 or 3 or 4 properties already that might fit their criteria.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, they don't purchase it. They lease it. So like,
I know, but I'm saying I might have somebody who would come in and buy it,
got it. Yeah,
depending
yeah,
on what their lease rate would be. All right. What other questions can I answer for you?
yeah. I mean, I guess in terms of seller financing, so like for example, with this listing, because it's the seller financing, I think they're putting down 20%.
Mhm.
And so when it comes to commission,
It's
I,
off of the down payment.
but it's
Hey,
the commission is
part of
more
the
than
down
the down
payment.
payment.
Yes, it's part of the down payment, not off of the down payment, part of the down payment. So it's like you must think about it from the lens of like, okay, if it's $1 million roughly, right? You're putting down 200 grand, 20%. Your X percent commission will be out of that 200.
Right.
So the seller will then be taking less money because they're only paying you out of, let's just say they're going to pay you 6%. Now all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
200 grand minus 60,000. So
Right.
now it's only 140K. And then the seller also has to pay closing costs. So now they're going to pay
I know. So I feel like
30K. So they
back.
might only walk away with 100 grand in their pocket.
I have an agreement. I have a commission agreement with them, but like the buyer's broker was like, you might want to run that by them. Like, just make sure that they're going to pay us like they say at closing because, they're not going to have, that much money.
Yeah,
But
it's something to think about for sure.
yeah,
Again, if they're putting down 20%, I think they're going to be okay. But,
right.
how long's the term for? If you have any difficulty, let me know. I'll smack them around a little bit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.